And now, let's get ready for the RPAG's latest TV game show sensation, Lightning Round. Please welcome to the stage your host, Bob Barker. Jesse Taylor.
Welcome to Lightning Rounds, everyone. RPAG's latest and greatest TV show game sensation. All right, so first up, in this year's round, we've invited some guest judges. First up, Springfield, Massachusetts. You know him, you love him. He's the 401k coach, Charlie Epstein. This is a no smoking facility, so don't light that up, but if you do, you gotta share. Our next guest judge, she's a partner and great advisor. You saw her on a testimonial earlier out of Erie Capital, Wilmington, Delaware, Courtney Milner. Sit in the middle. Next up, he might be confused for the fifth Flex Path boy. Out of Granville, Michigan, and BHS Financial, Duncan Purvis. All right, now for the rules of the road for Lightning Rounds by RPAG. No personal attacks, no making fun of me or Brian. Sorry, we're old. And no eye gouging, fish hooking, or strikes to a grounded opponent. Rules of the Octagon always apply. Of course, no using ChatGPT, even though I wrote everything here using it, but you can't. Winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. 4 minutes per person. You'll hear a bell when your time is up. Order was selected at random by how much they gave me in cold hard cash, and judges will vote on their best pitch. Our first lightning round contestant. He's so old school that he sends emails via carrier pigeon. He has sold ketchup, popsicles to a lady in white gloves no more than 7 times. Out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, Brian Roberts.
Welcome, everyone. My presentation is, oops, did we skip forward? My presentation is go for a no. Stop wasting time and money when you're selling. And if you're looking for a way to either increase sales in your book, find more time in your day, or improve your bottom line, I think this presentation is a home run. A no is one step closer to a yes, which basically means that you'll increase your sales, streamline your productivity, and improve your bottom. The problem is many of our presentations are missing a step that can get us to a no, and that's an issue. You tend to be good at building relationships, identifying opportunities, and telling people how to fix things. Whoops, we skipped one. But telling isn't selling, and it ends up in creating wasted time, wasted expenses, and I might add the dreaded teaching your competition's brother-in-law how to do what you know how to do. So the good news is this is all avoidable if you don't provide answers. Why is this going forward on its own? If you don't provide answers until you've determined intent, you aren't afraid to ask your prospect to hire you during the sales process. I'm not hitting it. I think there's been I've been sabotaged by my colleagues. All right, who's back there screwing with me? Last but not least, if you use some trial closes and next steps to identify intent, you can actually create a much more efficient sales process, and that's the goal here. So how do you do this? Well, I'm going to give you, it's 2 questions and 1 assume. The first is would it surprise you if I told you you weren't accomplishing what you told me you wanted to accomplish? The assume is, let's assume I can show you how to fix that. You're not going to tell them how to fix it. You're going to assume how to fix it. And then the last thing is, this is like,
Trying to move you.
I give. All right, I'm done. The last thing is you're going to use the, would that be enough for me to hire you? Is this intentional?
This clicker's here. Let's train. I won't touch it again. Very softly, very gently.
All right, so you got to have a next step as a part of what you do in your first meeting, and I'm done.
Thank you. All right, Brian. How do you think that went?
Oh, you know how that went.
Well, the clicker was terrible. Alex, I'll take the $100. All right, judges. How do you think Brian did? First, we'll go to Charlie Epstein. Charlie, the 401k coach. An 8. Oh, that was pretty nice. He's solidarity for for your peers.
Thank you, Charlie.
All right, Courtney, what about you? What do you give Brian?
Oh.
A 9. He says, hey, thanks for that TIAA deal we did with you, Brian, for that 9. And Duncan, what do you think?
Yeah, so despite battling the slides, this one does resonate with me. Sometimes where I'm from, West Michigan, relationships are really tight. We can lift the hood for a prospect, show them the thing's on fire, but if it's a brother-in-law, they're like, I can't fire Mark, that's going to make church really awkward. So sometimes just saying like, hey, tell me if it's no, and I'll move on to the next one's good. So
Just move them to the temple, and you'll be fine.
All right, well, thank you, Brian.
Mazel
Mazel tov. All right. Our next lightning round contestant is so smooth, he's often confused for a human meditation app. He has never once used a filler word in his life, not even when ordering Starbucks. Jonathan Coombs!
Thank you, Jesse. So great to be here with all of you, and thank God I don't have slides. I would imagine most of you would agree that it's easier to keep an existing dollar on the books than to bring on a new one. So I hope to pique your interest with a way to potentially preserve and protect those hard-earned dollars by bringing back into balance a conversation we are all likely having on a daily basis, and that is how to enhance participant outcomes through a careful and thoughtful balance of consideration between some of our best thinking on portfolio building blocks and how those are constructed, balanced out with human behavioral trends, which can basically be summarized as QDIA consulting. The best part is the way that you get there is by not only hopefully saving an existing dollar for yourself, but this by identifying industry best practices before they become the status quo. You might just also save a dollar for the participants that we all serve. Now, before I get going into the heart of this, I would like to present to you 3 stats. First, we know that investors feel the pain of loss more than the joy of gain. Now, there's a lot of great research out there on loss aversion and behavioral economics, but to summarize, due to our time constraints here, the essential idea is an investor with $100,000 that goes up to $150,000 and then back down to $125,000 is more likely to see that as a net loss of $25,000 than the reality, which is it's a net gain of $25,000. Further, that investor isn't likely to have paid too much attention while that account was steadily growing by 50%. It's only when it started coming back down that they got engaged. Stat number 2 is an easy one. We know most modern QDIA solutions like target date funds were created to help participants from becoming their own worst enemies. We don't need to look any further than JP Morgan's annual research that shows the average annualized return of a do-it-yourself investor lags the professionally managed solutions by nearly 4%. And the final stat I want to share is, are target date fund investors in fact the set it and forget it investors they're typically associated with? Or do we simply hope they will be that way based on how those investments are structured? Well, according to an Alight study, nearly half of all target date fund investors leave the target date funds within the first 10 years of investing. Well, that's hardly a rounding error. And is there any clue of what types of events could lead to that type of behavior in such mass? Well, we don't need to look any further back than 2022, right, where literally everything was down. Of course, participants started panicking. What was the largest outflow of any asset class that year? Target date funds, specifically near retirement vintage target date funds, largest inflow, cash. Can you think of any other similar study that has demonstrated that level of participant reaction based on not having a target date fund with top decile performance or the lowest fee? I certainly haven't. And that brings me to what I would present as a two-part solution to this challenge. First, in a world where we are constantly focusing on finding ways to identify the lowest cost solution or maximizing return potential at all costs, I feel that decision-making has become a little bit out of balance. If in fact the point in time where participants are most likely to make a terrible decision, shouldn't we be bringing back into that QDIA discussion the max drawdown of that solution being considered, right? If this is something that matters that much to participants, and I will wrap it up, I know I'm close on time here. The second part of that is there are solutions in the industry that are already designed to help address this need, but that are oftentimes neglected or discredited for all the wrong reasons. We know 84% of plan sponsors offer some type of staple value or cash preservation option in the plan. And yet the way most lineups are constructed today, the only way you can get access is being a self-allocator via the core menu. So I would hope that, again, we can bring that balance back into this disconnect of risk matters. Thank you for your consideration.
Jonathan Coombs. Johnny, how do you think that pitch went?
Well, you know, after the events of last night, Jesse, sit close to the front, you said. It will be fun, you said. There will be champagne and chocolates. Then sandblasted to the face with glitter in my hair. I gotta go home tomorrow, Jesse. My wife's gonna ask questions. So considering that.
Fun fact, someone was wearing this black suit last night, and this is what we got out of it. Now, the real test is judges. What'd you think here? We'll start with Duncan.
Impressive recollection of stats, but ran out of time a little bit at the end there. So.
Ooh, ding for the time. Courtney?
I'm going with an 8. You did a very good job, but I wish you talked about apples again.
Johnny Appleseed needed the comeback. Charlie, the coach.
I got to go with a 7. I need more personalized storytelling connected to the people that you're talking to.
Wait, I could have talked about FlexPath?
That was not in the rules, but kind of. Tough score for you today. Better luck next time, Johnny. Appreciate your time. Round of applause for Jonathan Coombs. Our next sales lightning round contestant is not just a pretty face, he's a survivor. He has had his Ram TRX stolen not just once, but twice. The man is a survivor, the great Alex Kahn. Don't use Brian's clicker.
Judges looking good. I like the glasses, Charlie. Go Birds, Courtney. Duncan, you been working out? So what should I do with my next dollar to grow my business? Well, to start, let me share a little bit with you all about what my hypothetical business looks like. I'm one of 3 retirement plan consultants at my firm. I have 30 retirement plan clients. These range from startup plans to my largest, which is 80 million in plan assets. 75% of my time is spent meeting with plan sponsors, and 25% of my time is spent meeting with individual participants. So my wish is to become more efficient with the time that I spend doing participant education. It feels like, for the most part, I've identified who the high net worth individuals are within the plans that I work with and who would be a good fit for individual wealth management opportunities. But still, my plan sponsor clients expect that I'm available as a resource for all participants, not just those that have high account balances. So my challenge, however, is I set up time to go to my clients, do office hours where participants can come and get individual advice. Often those sessions aren't as productive as they should be. And often I'm getting interrupted during my home hours by participants who need advice in an expeditious fashion. So we're here, I don't have a phone on me. Let's start thinking about how we can be more efficient with the participant education side of things. Oh boy. Hello?
Hi, my name is Melody. I received your phone number from my employer, and I'm hoping to get some help with my 401k.
So Melody, I'm on stage at the RPAG conference right now. Would it be okay if we spoke next week?
You know, this is kind of an emergency. Would it be all right if we talked right now?
All right, yeah, absolutely. How can I help you? Why are you calling?
I've been looking at my account, and well, I feel like my performance could be better. Is that something that you could help me with?
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe to start, why don't you tell me how you're being invested today, Melody?
Well, there are 10 funds in the plan lineup. So I started by putting 10% in each. So large value, large blend, large growth, small value, small blend, small growth, international blend, fixed income, cash. But I've been looking at the performance of the large growth fund in the plan, and I also read about NVIDIA in the news and think that that's what I should be invested in. Is it all right if I just invested in that fund, and is now a good time?
So typically we encourage participants to be diversified both in the asset classes that they allocate to, as well as based on their age. Have you considered a target date fund before?
I was in the Vanguard TDFs at my previous employer, but I feel like I wanted a more personalized allocation. And now, when I look at the performance of FlexPath TDFs, it isn't as good as the large growth fund.
Well, fortunately for you, your plan does offer the FlexPath target date funds, and to your point, they offer additional personalization, unlike other target date funds. If it's all right with you, can I ask you a few questions to help determine which FlexPath fund might be the most appropriate for you based on your needs and willingness to take risk?
Yeah.
So to start off, what year were you born?
1980, so I'm 44.
Okay, and can we assume age 65 for now is your expected retirement age?
Yes.
Okay, and how much have you saved both in the plan as well as outside of the plan?
$350,000.
And
And I inherited income of $900,000.
Wow, very exciting, wonderful. And how much is your salary from your employer?
$150,000.
And do you know how much you're contributing to the plan by chance?
I'm saving 5%, and my employer also has match, but I'm not sure exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's right. So ABC Company has a match. It's 50% on the first 6%. Looks like you're not getting full advantage of that today. If you increased your contribution rate from 5 to 6%, you'll be receiving the full match. That additional 1% of your salary would equate to about $60 per paycheck. Is that something you'd be comfortable with?
Yeah, I wasn't aware I was leaving money on the table. Thank you.
Perfect. So based on this, based on that, your recommended glide path would be the FlexPath 2045 fund. That allocation to equity within FlexPath conservative 2045 is about 70%. So based on that, 100% allocation to large cap growth is more risk than what you need to take. What's important to understand is that participants that are on track for retirement can't afford to take less risk. It looks like you're winning the game, Melody, and because of that, we can reduce your overall allocation. Do you need help making that change on the record keeper site?
No, I can do that.
Perfect. So, takeaway, right? 1, Jesse said 7 minutes for this, not 7 minutes. 2, in order to improve your participant education, participant wellness, leverage tools that RPAG's made available. Look at things like Venrollment, as well as tools like the DYP tool, and help participants use this on their own. Often it seems like participants may not have the comfortability reaching out for individual advice, but they're looking for those types of tools. By giving them the ability to do this on their own, it can make you much more efficient, and there's really easy ways to do that at an overall low hurdle rate from your time spent. So we'll leave it with that.
Round of applause for Alex Kahn. I will say this man should get extra credit for having the first totally not scripted and not fake participant call ever in the history of the RPAG conference. He should get extra. That was excellent. How did you feel about that pitch?
You know, when Jonathan said I was coming up on time and that was well over, I thought I had more time.
Yeah.
Turns out I did not.
This is called lightning rounds, not slow rounds. Okay. We will go to the judges' scorecards. We will start with the 401k coach himself, Charlie. Any thoughts on the pitch?
Very polished, good look. I would have put her in a crypto fund and called it a day, but I'm giving you a 9.
You heard it here first, folks. Charlie Epstein, crypto.
The zero on top made me a little nervous.
That was a 9 from Charlie Epstein. Courtney, that's a 6.
No.
Oh!
9, you lost 1 point just because you went over.
I think he should get extra for that. Give him the call. Did a fantastic job. But 2 9s, looking pretty good, Alex.
And Alex, don't forget the
Go
Eagles
Birds.
hat. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. We've all had that phone call, but ding you on timing, Alex. 9.
Well, 3 9s, looking pretty good. Congratulations, Alex. Our next presenter, he won the belt last year. He is from Des Moines, Iowa, where the corn grows as tall as his love for the Chicago Bears. The reigning, defending RPAG Lightning Round champion of the world, Luke Vandermillen Jr.
Alex, your challenge is not how much time you're spending with participants, it's making sure your truck doesn't get stolen for a 3rd time. That is your challenge. I know they said no personal attack, I can't help it. So last year, Brian Roberts told me that I won because I made fun of Jonathan and Alex and I went last. So I said, don't let me go last and I'm not gonna make fun of anyone. I've already gone back on one of those promises, but I can't go back on the other one, so we're in pretty good shape. So what to do with your next dollar? So I figured since I couldn't use my tools that I typically use, I figured I'd just pick the best topic, the best thing to convince you all of. My idea is that you've already done what you need to do. You don't need to spend another dollar because you've already made the commitment by being part of RPAG. If you look at a lot of our resources around the Resource Center, the Advisor Portal, one of the things that you'll see sprinkled around, especially in presentations, is a term that I thought was made up at first called return on energy. It makes sense when you think about it, right? Obviously, time has a monetary value. The average revenue for a plan, typically somewhere between $10,000 and $25,000 on an average basis. Based on some calculations that I stole from Jesse Taylor, the advisor's hourly rate, somewhere around $350 per hour. Some variance to that depending on what you do, where you are in the country, but I figured it was a nice round number to go with. So $350 an hour, that means your week is roughly about $2,800 is what your work week is worth. So the question becomes not, should you spend more money? Should you hire new people? Should you start working closer with participants? The real question is how can I continue to leverage the resources that I already have available to me without spending another dollar? Again, that's the backbone of what we do here at RPAG is saving you time. The best example that I can give is every quarter, let's say you have 30 retirement plans. Say that means you do, let's call it 60, 65 meetings a year. That's 60 to 65 meeting minute notes that you have to write every year, right? If you've wrote meeting minutes in a Word document for, that can take you 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. If you leverage the automated meeting minutes tool in RPAG, it'll take you 5 minutes at the most, right? So now we're saving almost an entire hour. That's putting money back in your pocket. It's $350 of your time, the value of your time that you can delegate elsewhere, whether it's instead of servicing this current client, let's go ahead and prospect for some new business. Let's start getting some boots on the ground and seeing if we can impress any new plan sponsors. The other piece of this is that here at RPAG, we do we invest our resources for you. You saw it in Nick and Vince and Jesse's presentations, the vast amount of resources that our leadership commits to improving our technology, not on a yearly basis, not on a monthly basis, on a bi-weekly basis. We are having meetings to look at what can we introduce into our portal to make it better, to make our advisors' lives easier. So as a finishing statement, you don't need to invest any more of your resources because you've already made the decision to do so. Thank you for your time.
Luke, how'd you feel how that pitch went?
I think it went okay. I was just pretty excited to be up here because this is the closest I'll ever feel to being in the dunk contest. So I'm pretty excited to see what the scoring looks like.
Yeah, we're sales guys, not CFAs. The math wasn't mathin'. $11,200 a week. But, I'll give you, that was per day. We don't do math. We played football. What can you do? Right.
Tried my best.
But pretty good pitch all around. That gold belt, do you think you'll be having another one in your office at the end of the day today?
Based on what you just said, probably not.
All right. We're going to go to the judges. We will start with Courtney. A 10! Let's go!
I didn't pick up on that math.
Duncan?
All right, there was a lot of math, so follow me on this one. I love the meeting minutes, so start at 8. Baby Owen, really cute, +2 to 10. Bears fan, go Lions.
Oh!
Lions?
Wow. You know what? You gotta respect it. You gotta respect. Very fair judging by Duncan Purvis here. Very fair judge. Charlie.
I'm going to say you had me at hello.
Oh.
All right, I love the return on energy, except for one thing. Stop talking about hourly wages and start talking about how advisors can bend time. That's Einstein, E = MC squared, okay? We don't work by the hour. We work by bending our time and creating more value. But I love the energy quote, so I'm going to trump a 1.
2 10s and a 1. Man, this is like an Olympic scandal of judging.
What are you going to do?
Also, I want whatever is in Charlie's cigar, okay?
That's the Russian judge over there.
Ooh, well, very good pitch. Congratulations, Luke. The very first 1 and 2 10s. Our final contestant in this year's lightning rounds, where to spend my next dollar. She has made more cold calls than a 1980s long-distance phone service salesperson. Fighting out of Manhattan Beach, California, the cold call queen, Ellie Armstrong.
Ooh, my goodness. Firstly, I'm impressed, you guys. You really stepped it up from last year. But you're still not quite hitting the mark or addressing the obvious answer, which is that you should be spending your next dollar on staff, or rather invest your next dollar in growing your team so that you can get back to growing your business. One of the most common challenges advisors face is knowing when to hire their next employee and knowing what position that person should fill. As an owner, what do you care about? Growing your business. As a producer or a salesperson, what do you care about? Growing your business. Because as they all say, if you're not growing, you're dying. And I think that line is a little bit overused in this industry, but that's just because it's true. As an advisor, you're not only managing client relationships, but you're also constantly strategizing how you can grow your practice. And the transition from focusing solely on client acquisition to balancing growth and client management is a critical phase. And without the right team in place or without enough support, that balance becomes challenging and growth often gets left in the back seat. And here's why. When you start your practice, the first few years are spent in growth mode, and you grow fast. Why? Because all of your time is spent on prospecting, selling, and bringing in new clients. But what happens come year 3 or year 4? Your growth plateaus. You've got a couple dozen clients and a few $100,000 in revenue, but now all of your time is spent on managing those new relationships and keeping your clients happy, which is great. Don't get me wrong, that's great. but it just means that you don't have time to go out and win new business anymore. So you're not growing. And the hard truth is that you will not continue to grow at the pace you once did without additional support. I also used some of Jesse's numbers, and we found that if you want to add an additional $500,000 in revenue over 4 years, you need to be spending between 20 and 30 hours per week just on sales activities. And our research also found that our top advisors are actually spending more than that. They're clocking in around 32 hours a week on selling alone just to ensure consistent growth. Let's run a quick side note. If you're charging a flat fee instead of basis points, you're not even growing on your existing business. At least with basis points, you're growing a little bit on your existing clientele. But even then, it's not like it was when you're bringing in 6 or even 12 new clients a year, right? Anyways, back to hiring. Let's run a quick hypothetical. Let's say you've got 500 million AUM across 50 plans, averaging 10 million a plan, so you're bringing in around 1 million in revenue. You went from 0 to 1 million like that, but now you're stuck. If you want to break through that plateau, you have to hire. And you can't wait, or else you risk stagnating further. Your competitors won't wait to hire, and neither should you. It's important for you to create your own formula and stick to it, but a general rule is that every $250,000 in revenue equals an additional employee. So if you're bringing in 1 million, you should have 4 employees, including yourself. Now, of course, the next question is, okay, well, who is this new hire? What position is this person going to fill? Maybe you start by hiring a relationship manager, who, of course, will handle client communications, make sure all your clients feel valued and happy, which will in turn lead to increased referrals. Maybe you hire someone in marketing to enhance brand presence and attract new prospects. Or, of course, add another producer. The role will depend on your needs, but either way, these new hires are going to give you the support you need to grow to 1.25 million. Then 1.5 million, and then eventually 2 million. And then once you've hit 2 million, maybe it's time to start thinking about a succession plan if you don't already have one. But I don't have, oh my gosh, I don't have time right now. Okay, sorry. The bottom line is this. If you find that your business is not growing as fast as it used to, or you find yourself servicing clients with no time to hunt, that is a key indicator that it's time to hire and you need to figure out what that position should be. Maybe you're the one that likes to hit the pavement and sell all day, every day. Then you should hire a relationship manager. Or maybe you've grown close to your clients and you want to manage them. Then hire another producer. The point is, growing your team will allow you to get back to focusing on growth. And the best part, and the best part is that all these hires, they pay for themselves. A producer will obviously pay for themselves. But even your support staff pays for themselves. Because if you hire someone for $50,000 to take 30 hours of work off of your plate each week, do you think that you can sell an additional 2 to 3 plans now that you have that time back? Yes, you definitely can. They pay for themselves, and growth does not just happen, it's planned. So spend your next dollar on growing your team so you can get back to growing your business. Thank you.
Well, Ellie.
God, that's stressful. I don't like
How do you feel that pitch went, Ellie?
I feel great, except that thing is shining in my lights.
The clock
shining in my eyes, it stresses me
stops.
out. Oh my God.
Starts green, goes to yellow. When I hit red, it
and I had more to
fills your nightmares.
I had more to say too. It's okay.
Didn't we
I think
all?
I won.
Alex definitely had more.
Yeah, I did
3
better.
more
I did
minutes.
better than Alex.
I feel good. Now, the real question, how did the judges feel?
I think they feel great.
Judges, let's go to Charlie. Charlie?
You want to pick a number?
10.
All right, so no.
Oh.
Charlie!
No, I was kidding. You stole my, I was going to put it together.
Oh.
All right, so I just want to add, I think it's great. This is the most important focus for any team. But the best way to hire somebody is write down the top 3 things you hate to do every day, and then go find somebody who loves what you hate to do, and that'll free up more than 30 hours, and you'll be way more productive. So I think you're spot on where you need to go, and I got a 9.
All right.
Congrats, great score of a 9. Okay, we're going to go on to Courtney Milner.
I think what you talked about was very relevant, especially for us right now trying to grow, and everything you said is exactly what we're thinking right now. Beyond that, it's your 2nd year doing this. Last year you were amazing, this year even better, and being against all these guys. 10.
Yay! We got a 9. We got a 10. Duncan Purvis.
Yeah, that's
No,
very, very
no,
relevant.
no bias. No bias.
Yeah.
Very relevant
take
for me and our team. We're small. We're looking to grow. So I like the topic. And then per Charlie's comment, I actually hate cold calling. So if you're looking for a job, you're a cold call queen.
That looks like a 29. Wait, the math.
Do I win?
Don't ask Luke to do the math, by the way. Let's see.
I
We
wanted
had
to win
a-
so bad this year.
And we got ourselves a
Did I
29. Blow the confetti. No, wait, we're not doing that again. And our winner, I did the math, cold hard, and we've already calculated, is Ellie Armstrong, champion of the world. The champ.
Finally, give me the belt.
Give her the belt. You got to carry it around.
But it's
Where's the
so
photographer? Come on up. Let's get in there with the judges. Slip them the envelope of cash after the session's over. But congratulations to Ellie Armstrong
I'm so happy.
on the championship win for the 2024 RPAG Lightning Rounds.
Where's the photographer? Oh, she's over
Get in
there.
here. One more. Duncan, one more. All right. Thank you to our judges. Thank you to all of our contestants. And congratulations once again to Ellie.